ègùdọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Ikú ayé kó má gbọ́dọ̀ pa ó.
Àràbà ní ègùdọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Kò má gbọ́dọ̀ wò kò nílé wò ọlọ́gbọ́n ayé o ẹ̀sùn mọ́ bí. olóyè ayé ẹ má bá mi ká lọ. ọ̀pọ̀ ìgbéyàwó ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ ẹnu mi. mo ní igi là ń bẹ nígbò ìgbò. Ìgbò ìmà mi wò lọ. Àràbà yìí wá ń gbìyànjú kò dó máa kó wà láyé lọ. Igi ńlá yìí wà lóhun tó máa fi ṣàràbà lóore. Oníwíwó ní káràbà ìlọ́wọ́ láwùjọ igi. Onílé wò é kò má gbọ́dọ̀ wò.
Àràbà ní ègùdọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Ṣọ́dá àbáwọn sọ Fúlàní wọ̀nyí bó ṣe ń pa wá. Ṣó wá sùn ọkọ̀ Adeyemo ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ kó jáwọ́ ní. Àwọn àgbààgbà ikọ̀ wọn kò tíra mú odò sí wa kó wà láyé rẹ̀ lọ. Ó máa ṣe òye kò má gbọ́dọ̀ wò.
Àràbà ní ègùdọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Èrò bá mi kọ́ mọ́ Adeyemo. Èmi kí ọmọ yìnyọ ilẹ̀ akíkanjú ọkùnrin ogun. Èrò bá mi kọ́ mọ́ wọn ní gbọ́ ọmọ rẹ̀. Iná máa rógún màmá ti di pẹ̀lẹ́ ọmọ bàbá rógún màmá ṣojo. Sunday ẹ̀yẹ tó má ṣe bọ́ kí ẹ̀ ò sí ní gbọ́mọ́. Òrìṣà tí ó ṣe bọ́kọ̀ Adeyemo ni ṣebí yẹn ò kọ́ mọ́ lágbẹ̀dẹ. Ẹ̀bà lè jẹ́ ẹ̀bọ̀nà jẹ́. Adéyẹmí yóò máa sọ kọ̀ọ̀kan láì dáa. Kìkì orí tó máa kọ́ ni wípé Yorùbá nation yìí ló going back kìíní. Ẹ̀dá bí rẹ̀ ṣọ̀wọ́n òye kó máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò. Kò má gbọ́dọ̀ wò kò nílé wò é. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ ká rórí. Ọjọ́ wo ni wọ́n dalẹ̀ Ifẹ̀ tán gangan? Àwọn kan sáré kó lè dára. Èrè bó bàjẹ́ kókò mi làwọn kan sá. Ṣó dára kí dára ṣo ìwà lọ́kùn. Yorùbá ìrònú kẹ́lọ́ fi mọ̀ ṣọ̀kan. Ọ̀tá ló pọ̀ tán ìwà ká. Kò má gbọ́dọ̀ wò.
Àràbà ní ègùdọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Ìdí táwọn àgbààgbà yìí tó kò fi lè sòdodo. Ó ti sọ́wọ́n àjẹgẹ́ wá jọba. Ìran láwọn àgbààgbà ìgbèdánijó kiri. Ó máa ṣe òye, ó máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò.
Àràbà ní ègùdọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Ọba mẹ́wàá ìgbà mẹ́wàá yóò máa lòlẹ̀ ayé gbó. Lọ́ba lọ́ba lóye lóye Yorùbá. mo bẹ̀ yín ẹ ṣayé ire. Kò bàjẹ́ láyé Olúgbọ́n, kò má bàjẹ́ láyé Àrẹ̀sà o. Kò má torí tí yín bàjẹ́ òye. Abẹ́ orí arúgbó Yorùbá ó máa fọwọ́ rọ́ọ̀rì kú mọ́. Ẹ bá ọ̀nà lọ́mọ kéékèèké kú sí kiri. Olóko lè lóko nílẹ̀ Yorùbá mọ́. Kíjokíjo lọ́dọ́ ló wọ̀n yìí wá ń sáré kiri. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ ká relé. Bájọ́ bájúmọ́ á ń padà sílé bàbá ẹni ni. Ṣebí ewúrẹ́ yẹn ò lò ó ṣọmọ yàgùntàn. Àgùntàn ló ní màmá mi òbí dúdú òye. Ṣebí látọdún tá ti wà nínú Nàìjíríà yìí. Ìdẹ̀ra là ń fojoojúmọ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n òmìnira náà fojoojúmọ́ fún àmú. Àsìkò ti tó, ilé tó lọ, òmìnira láfẹ́ o.
This is Star Radio UK.
Àsìkò ti tó.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Ilé tó lọ, òmìnira. Araba yìí kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò.
Araba ní ẹ̀gbọ́dọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Araba yìí kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò.
Araba ní ẹ̀gbọ́dọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Àṣà ayé kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ gbé.
Araba ní ẹ̀gbọ́dọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Ìjì ayé kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ gbé lọ.
Araba ní ẹ̀gbọ́dọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Ikú ayé kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ pa ó.
Araba ní ẹ̀gbọ́dọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò. Kò nílé wò. Ọlọ́gbọ́n ayé o, ẹ̀sùn mọ́ bí. Olóyè ayé ẹ má bá mi ká lọ. Ọ̀pọ̀ ìgbéyàwó ọ̀rọ̀ yìí lẹ́nu mi. Mo ní igi là ń bẹ nígbò ìgbò. Ìgbò yìí máa mi wò lọ. Araba yìí wá ń gbìyànjú kò dó máa kó wà lárẹ́rẹ́ lọ. Igi ńlá yìí wà lóhun tó máa fi ṣàràbà lóore. Oníwíwó ní káràbà ìlọ́wọ́ láwùjọ igi. Onílé wò é kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò.
Araba ní ẹ̀gbọ́dọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
Ṣọ́dá àbáwọ̀sán Fúlàní wọ̀nyí bó ṣe ń pa wá. Ṣó wá sùn ọkọ̀ Adeyemo ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ kó jáwọ́ ní. Àwọn àgbààgbà ikọ̀ wọn kò tíra mú. Odò sì wá kó wà láyé rẹ̀ lọ. Ó máa ṣe òye, kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò.
Araba ní ẹ̀gbọ́dọ̀ wọ láwùjọ.
This is Star Radio
Èrò
UK.
bá mi kọ́ mọ́
are you ready to turn it up?
Èmi kí ọmọ ìlú ọkùnrin ogun. Èrò bá mi kọ́ mọ́ wọn ní ìgbọ́ ọmọ rẹ̀. Iná máa rógún màmá ti di pẹ̀lẹ́ ọmọ bàbá rógún màmá. máa ṣojo. Sunday ẹyẹ tó má ṣe bọ́ kí yẹn ò sí ní gbọ́mọ́. Òrìṣà tí ó ṣe bọ́kọ̀ Adeyemo ni ṣebí yẹn ò kọ́ mọ́ lágbẹ̀dẹ. Ẹ bá lè jẹ́ ẹ̀bọ̀nà jẹ́ Adeyemi yóò máa sọ kọ̀ọ̀kan láì dáa. Kìkì orí tó máa kọ́ ni wípé Yoruba nation yìí ló going back in. Ẹ̀dá bí rẹ̀ ṣọ̀wọ́n òye kó máa gbọ́dọ̀ wò.
This is Star Radio UK.
9, 8, 7, 6,
Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ̀jẹ̀ ká lórí.
4, 3, 2.
Ọjọ́ wo ni wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ tó gbọ̀ngàn? Àwọn kan sáré kó lè dára.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Ṣó dára kí dára ṣó ìwà lọ́kùn. Yorùbá ìrònú kẹ́lọ́ fi mọ̀ ṣọ̀kan.
Well, it's another beautiful Wednesday. Let me first check if my guest can hear me loud and clear. Hello, Bishop Adeshina. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
I can hear you loud and clear.
That means we're very good to go this evening. I say...
This is Star Radio UK.
9.
Well, it is...
This is Star Radio UK.
Well, it's a very good evening. It's very beautiful weather out here. Making my way down to the studio. First and foremost, I say good evening to all our listeners, our viewers from almost every part of Africa. Most especially from the continent known as Nigeria, where the focus point is always on Wednesday, every Wednesday. I have my guest already lined up and ready to go. I would like to appreciate every single one of you, especially my producer that are working tirelessly, the sound engineer, and the rest of the team, Mr. Frank, Mr. Archie. But tomorrow, make sure you join the Property Hour. Once again, this
is Star Radio UK.
The music that we were listening to earlier is known as Arabami, by Janet, and we'd like to say thank you so much. Because of our time and the guest, we have a lot to discuss this evening. What are we going to be looking at? All these I'm going to be telling you, but it's all about how is it possible in the midst of what is happening, the chaotic issues, the killings, the massacre. I was actually listening to the governor of Zamfara State. I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about that. But what we're going to be addressing today, for the benefit of those of you that are watching us, is that we will be looking at everything self-defense as a legal right in a fraudulent Nigerian constitution, self-defense as a vital right from religious perspective from the Bible, self-defense as a universal right from United Nations chapter. Wow, what a very amazing evening. I say once again, this is
Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Wow, we are live 24/7. The only way you can enjoy us is to make sure you download the apps, follow us on all our social media, and if you are not subscribed on our Twitter account, it is Star Radio UK, and I'm going to be monitoring that this evening to know how many people have joined us. So not to waste too much time, it's just exactly 30 minutes past. I'm going to be giving us the daily quote of today, which is the 29th day, June 2022. In less than 72 hours, if I'm right, it will be 1 year exactly precisely when the government invaded Chief Sunday Adeyemo's house. I spoke to him just before getting to the studio, and he's doing very well. Successful people work longer hours. Now I know. Then the average person when it comes to their priorities. Let me go straight back to my guest. Hello, good evening, and welcome, Bishop Adeshina.
Good evening, Koiki. How are you over there?
Well, it is very good. I think we're on the same weather this evening, and I can tell you the weather is very, very warm. I've got the air conditioner on behind me. It is very warm outside, and we call it the summertime. How are you doing on the other side of the globe?
Yeah, it's very cold there.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's very cold there.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for being part of
Thank
the Star Radio UK this evening. I'll be monitoring the comment as well, and at some point we will be looking into that. Maybe we might open the phone line towards the end of the program. We hope to end this conversation by around 8:30, so we have ample of time, but we do not want to waste those time. I say once again,
The best radio show.
welcome Bishop Adeshina to Star Radio UK. Let's fire on. For the benefit of our listeners that are watching us, I've called you a bishop. Is that a title? Because we know in Africa, everybody has one title or the other that they are using. Is it sometimes people say it's a pet name, and sometimes people say it's probably maybe an ordained. Which one is yours?
It's an ordained. It's an administrative title. It's an ordained.
Is an ordained. Thank you so much. Give us a bit of a background, just for us to catch to know who exactly is Bishop Adeshina.
All right, Bishop Adeshina is a resident pastor of GGI, Lagos, Nigeria, the headquarters in US, and we are in training, orienting, and also sending to do so. Then we believe in Jewishness of Jesus Christ. That means if you say we are Christian, yes, but we are also Jewish. We believe in Jewishness of Jesus Christ, and we also invest. There is nothing, no matter how expensive it is, there is nothing that it's so valuable for us more than the life or the soul of any human being. We can spend any amount of money just to save a soul. So that is one of our core responsibility, and we are committed doing just that. It doesn't matter any amount of money we spend on program or publication. A lot of my books I publish, I don't sell it. I give it so that people can get what is inside, and that transforms those people, and that is our goal. So it doesn't matter how much I spend in publishing or investing in that book. My goal of that expense is the target audience. And when the target audience gets what's in the book and they are reformed, I get my achievement. And I can recover all I think I've spent. Thank you.
When we talk about books are very, very key and important in the lives of people. And how many books have you written? I've come across some of them. I remember when I was in Nigeria last year, I was able to meet up with you, and I read some of your books as well. If we look at the amount of books that you've written, roughly how many of them are we talking about?
Now I got like 8 books now.
Wow,
8 books. Yeah, the one launched this month makes it 8, and then it's circulated in the hands of people that have opportunity to receive or have them. But one thing is, I'm working now, putting like 2 on Amazon.
Wow, thank you so
there
much.
is work here going on to put like 2 on Amazon, and it will soon be clearly some advert is on Amazon, but it will soon be clearly finished.
So that means the diaspora can easily go on Amazon.
Yeah,
we'll be
Amazon
able to, get your books. All right, okay, that's fine. We are going to be looking at a lot of conversation this evening, and we will be discussing issues, especially the insecurity in Nigeria. Where have we got it wrong in Nigeria before things started falling apart, especially as the Yoruba people, the Biafras, the Middle Belt, and likewise even those that are Nigerians, everyone is almost complaining about insecurity. Just for the last almost less than 6 hours, I was actually posting some certain, up to date, activities of terrorists in the country. And let me just quickly, for the benefit of our listeners, give us, a lowdown of that. Available reports indicate that terrorists invaded Sabon Gero community in Chinkun in Kaduna State at about 2100 hours yesterday, 28th of June 2022, killing 2 JTF. Joint, I know people understand what JTF means, adopting unspecified numbers of persons, including a pharmacist and his family members. Security force rescue 6 persons. Again, just available report, terrorists attack Ruwan Durawa town in Maru in Zamfara State today, 29th, just about 20 minutes past mid-morning. The terrorists kidnapped Honorable Zabiru Abubakar Bili, Honorable Mohammed Masisara Dandodo, who are prominent in the area. The question is, self-defense as a legal right in what we know as the fraudulent Nigerian constitution. Let's talk about that.
All right. Before I dig into constitution, I want to first say, for you to understand what's in the constitution, you yourself must not live in denial. You must be realistic to yourself. Then you can go further to say, what legal backing do I have? But Nigeria lives in denial a lot, especially those who tend to be public servants, and those who are popular pastors, not that they don't know what is happening, not that the pastors under them were not complaining or things happening to them, but because they have complied, they have become conform to the civil government. Now, a pastor, a head of a church, you have 3 authority. Number 1, the civil authority that makes you a leader, just like the politicians. 2, the religious authority, what we can call the ecclesiastical right, the right to gather people and orient them. That's number 2. And then number 3 is the spiritual authority. The spiritual authority that you can speak for God. Now, if these people who are pastors quiet, one thing is speaking. Number 1, they are no longer speaking for God. That's number 1. Because you can't say God is happy where the blood of men are being shed. God is watching. He's not happy. But you are the representative of God here. So what are you doing for God? You are no longer living for God. So number 1, it means you are out of the place. Number 1. Number 2, for keeping quiet, you have short change. You have short-changed the ecclesiastical right that you have over the people to orient and teach them. You have short-changed it, maybe because of the benefit you are gaining. So you have betrayed the people you are supposed to be the shepherd over. That's number 2. Number 3 is because the civil right you are not efficient in it. Because the politician, if anything happened to the office or let me just say the secretariat of a governor, you will see how the governor will react, because he knows this thing touching my secretariat is my target. That means I'm the target. Now, this thing happening in church to the extent that terrorists came and attacked church in Owo, attacked church, killed people. Not one people, about 99 people died, 65 people sustained injury, and no can Christian Association of Nigeria to rise up and speak to power. No Christian association in Ondo State rising up, giving government mandate to provide the killer or provide security, or give them measures. They keep quiet, everybody to your. Some just come around, move around the street. They come to where the scene of the incident that's supposed to be sealed. All of them enter, defile the same. They are compromised. That is the implication. They are all compromised, including the pastor of that church, that Catholic church. That politician came just 2-3 days of the incidents only to offer money. You don't need, you should throw back and bullshit, fucking bullshit his money back to him. You don't need his fucking money. I'm boiled. I'm very angry. If I say I'm cool, I'm very, very angry. This kind of thing don't happen where I'm oriented from. People back in US, they watch this thing, they are crazy and they are mad. And I said, this cannot happen where normal human beings exist. But it goes well with them. It goes well with them. Is that what we are talking about? The life of people just got lost. And they come offering you money and you are taking it. For what? That's so you had the one that killed them. And so they pay you for a good work. They paid you for good work. Well done. That's what it is. So, but looking at all this leadership from religious aspect, leadership from the political aspect, leadership from the security enforcement aspect, police cannot be found. If you call them, they say they can't, because those people have more weapons sophisticated than them. They can't go and die, and that is an excuse. All right, so what should you do? Number one, according to the constitution of the location 419, it says that self-defense is your right. Even the so-called fraudulent constitution gives you self-defense as a legal right. It says that whatever a person does to prevent himself from being killed does not amount to an offense. Now, you see that in section 59 of the Penal Code. Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Section 59 of the Penal Code provides that nothing, I'm quoting now, nothing is an offense of which is done in the lawful exercise of the right of private defense. Now, section 60, he said, of the Penal Code, he said, the right of private defense extends to A, the defense of his own body and the body of any other person against any offense affecting the human body. That means you can the person who comes to kill you, you can kill him. Or the person who comes to kill somebody around you, you can kill that person. In as much you do that so that you all will not be killed. So I want the people to hear that and stop being fidget or afraid of if we attack them. When the police knows this rule and knows this law. When they come, you quote it for them. That I do it for self-defense because they came to take our life. And so we take their life before they do so. And the law provides for it. That it's not an offense.
And this is in the Constitution.
And it's in the Constitution. Even though the Constitution is fraudulent, it's there. B.
This is Star Radio UK.
Subsection B of the 60. He said, the property, that means it also extends that the property, that means not only human body, self-defense also extends to your property. The property, whether movable or immovable, of himself or of any other person against any act which is an offense under the definition of theft. That means if it is an armed robber, you have the right to take his life before he takes your car. You have the right to take their life before they buckle and enter your house. Again, definition of theft. 2, robbery. A kidnapper who comes to kidnap you and asks for money is a robber. Mischief, whatever it may be, or criminal trespass. That means even entering your compound without your license. You can entering your church without your license. You can take up their life. Entering, trespass is written there, criminal trespass, or which is an attempt to commit any of these offenses. People need to open their ears. No, but that's why they are not attending to you, because they know that it's in the law. You need to know your right and activate it. They know, so they won't attend to you. When you complain to them, they say, but you should defend yourself. That's what they say in the court. That's what the chief of defense staff said. He said, you people should defend yourself. That there is a lot that the armed forces is doing in his hand now. Imagine. He said, you should defend yourself. So, what all of this is saying is that if you kill somebody because that person came to kill you, the court discharged you acquitted. It is your right to defend yourself. So you get that into your skull head and wake up. As an husband, your responsibility to defend your house, your wife, your children. To defend your house, defend your street, all from house to house, then you all come out to defend your street. From street to street, you all come out, you defend your community. From community to community, you defend your town, you defend your state. Then we defend our nation. With this simple legal right. We are not attacking anybody. We are saying we can't stay here, you come and kill us, and there is no provision of security. The law says we should defend ourselves. So far, it is an act that to prevent somebody to take our life. You say you are right to take his life. Now, let's go off from the fraudulent constitution of Nigeria let's look into the Bible, the religious aspect, because you can say you are a pastor. It is law you are quoting.
Before we go into the Bible
in Nigeria
and the thank you so much once again for those of you that have joined us.
The best radio show all around the world.
This is Star Radio UK.
If you're joining us for the very first time, my name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is Star Radio UK.
This is Star Radio UK.
We have a very important guest with us this evening, Bishop Adeshina, and we are reviewing and we are looking at issues in terms of the insecurity in Nigeria. And as you've been hearing, you all have right to defend yourself. Bishop, why has it been difficult for a lot of Nigerians, to know that they can defend themselves? Who are we expecting, to tell us this information? Is the system telling Nigerians? I do know that a lot of Nigerians, as it is today, a lack of information, and we do know that. And that's why we have this kind of program, especially for the benefit of the Yorubas. We will come to that. We will speak our language just towards the end of the program, so that we can also pass the message in our language that is very, very important, especially to those communities, the villages, across the length and breadth of southwest Nigeria. So we will speak in that local dialect, towards the end of the program. But again, whose responsibility is it when it comes to sharing this vital information?
Thank you very much. I think it's the responsibility of the media, but nevertheless, because Nigeria is largely illiterate, now, if you say somebody is an illiterate, it doesn't mean the person is not speaking English. There are illiterates in UK. They speak English, it's their language, but they are not schooled, they are not informed. Now, when you say somebody is an illiterate, that doesn't mean he didn't go to school as well to obtain certificate, paper. When you go to school, what do you go to do? You go to research information. How many of Nigerian graduates, even the ones at working, all those educated in offices, how many information it's in their mind about what they are doing or about some other sector? No. So far they can get a job and they are earning money, that's all. That's the end of life. No. That's why they are largely illiterate. They may be riding big bands, they may be politicians, they are illiterate. Short of information, they are not updated. Majority of some people that we had conference in the last 2 months, and it was from US, and but at the end of the conference, what the people were saying is that it's as if they are not part of this part of the world, that the orientation completely changed. I emphatically told them, with just 2 months orientation that you receive, you are 10 times ahead of your peers here. 10 times ahead of your peers. And that's a fact. Nigerians are largely illiterate because they are short of information. Our educational institution is bardash. They don't go there to research information. They go there to while away times, circle routines. You see a lecturer, the same kind of topics he teaches for the past 10, 20 years, rotating it. That's the same. He comes to class. So far they say this is the subject you take. He repeats. No new innovation, no new discovery, no new orientation, and at the end you give them certificates. So the educational institution has been crumbled. Of course, they are already at home, they are not actually working. So the media is the next to take the responsibility. One of the responsibility of the media to educate, to inform and entertain. So the education, the information and education comes from the media. But when you look at the terrestrial media in Nigeria, they are handcuffs and silence, not to talk. There are limits they could say. If not, they charge them. Is it not 500,000 or what millions? They charge them. So the correspondent says they go out, bring reports. The editor said, we can't project this. Just keep it in archive as evidence, as document that we need in future. So except the social media. So it is behooves on the social media to keep on the good job. If not, our people will perish. The Bible says, where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint. Vision there has to do with analogy. People giving you analysis. People giving you analysis. When there is nobody monitoring, directing, giving you direction, giving you instruction, coordination, then people cast off restraint. They perish. That's what it means. They cast off restraint because there is no director. So the social media behooves on them to take up that responsibility. Thank you.
Wow. Once again, a very good evening to all our listeners from around the globe, and welcome to Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Welcome.
Well, that's for those of you that are joining us for the very first time. Maybe it's your first time on Star Radio UK. This program comes on air every Wednesday between 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. where we look at issues affecting Nigerians. Those are also the self-determination. We're going to be discussing all that this evening as well. We also host varieties of different guest here. I think 3 weeks ago we had a very powerful guest that we were able to speak to yesterday, Chief Mrs. Mudukwala. We are working towards to get our father, Professor Banja Kitoye, one of these maybe next month we would arrange him to speak to us here on Star Radio UK.
This is Star Radio UK.
Bishop, the issues on the ground as is known this evening is that there's a lot of crises, issues, when it comes to, the insecurity that we are reviewing tonight. And I want our listeners to gain a lot from us this evening. We are not asking anybody, to go and do otherwise, but we want to give them as much information that could save those lives that we are talking about. Looking at the current system, do you think that like somebody was saying, the Constitution is contradictory itself because it says you can't carry a gun? What will you say to that before we go into the next conversation?
If you can't carry the gun, but you can carry the machete, and if you can't carry the machete, you can carry the knife. After all, you use knife to cook. And moreover, as a Yoruba person, God bless us with our powerful heritage. Powerful heritage. I don't want to open all my mouth. It is not wrong for you to fortify yourself. It is not wrong for. That's why I want to go into scripture.
Before you go into that scripture, let us listen to something that I'm sure a lot of our listeners, unfortunately the video is not going to be able to come up, but we can hear the soundtrack of it. I'm sure you've watched that video. Can you give us a bit of background, to what we're about to listen to before I get the audio out from the engineer that are working behind the scene here in the studio? I'm talking about the Sunday service shooting.
Okay, in Texas.
Yes. I want you to give us a background of it before I play the audio.
Okay. But you can see what happened there. That as the crazy man came up with his pump action and his intention to target at one of the usher, immediately one of the member of the church stood up with a pistol from the back and gave him a shot. So when he finally gave his own shot, of course, wounded the usher and sprayed some other, wound second person. The other from the church rose up and finished up with him. So it reduced the casualty and he was finished immediately there. 2 people that were casualty was taken to hospital and was treated. That is a church of people that knows their right.
Okay.
They don't wait there praying, expecting to die in the hand of a crazy man.
All right.
They finish him up there because he came to finish the life of innocent people. They finish him up there.
Okay. All right. Let's watch that video. Like I said, it's going to be an audio from this end, but let's listen to it.
Breaking news from Texas, a gunman opening fire inside a church near Fort Worth. The West Freeway Church of Christ live streaming the service as the man seen there at the top stood up from his seat, pulled out a long gun, and fired several times. Other church members right there shooting back. One victim was killed, another in critical condition. The gunman did not survive. And tonight, the hunt for a motive to a violent attack where worshipers should feel most safe. ABC's Marcus Moore leads us all.
This takes me back to this audio that we're going to get out as well. And this was the sound, some few weeks back when, the churchgoers were being massacred right in our Ondo State, southwest Nigeria, where there were multiple casualties of people that died. And these were the sound that came out on that fateful day. Let's hear the sound. We can't show the videos as well because these ones are very graphics, but these are the sound that came out on that day. Okay, let's get another one out. Like I said, these were the sound that woke a lot of people from around the globe when the attack in our. Let's hear that sound again. Good evening to you, my sister Joy, Kinewu, and the rest of those of you that are watching us. I'm going to be appreciating you, Maze Gold, David Adegoke, Prince OJ, Mrs. Liz Dada, Mrs. Olure, Miss Gabi says good evening, Bishop Adeshina, and the Koiki media fans as well. Let's hear that sound, and these were the sound from the massacre that took place in our. Should maybe the members have something to fight back, maybe the casualty would not have been at this. I'm going to come back to you, Bishop. Let's hear the sound again. This is another one. And Bishop, I know you've been able to see these are videos that we can't show for community standard rules. Again, this is
Star Radio UK.
Welcome.
I was looking at the difference between the incidents that occurred in Texas. Should the members of the church in Texas do not have the same firepower to have taken down that crazy lunatic individual that walked into the church where people are gathering and worshiping the God, whether he believes in their God or not. We don't know the motive behind that, but somebody picked out a pistol and fired back. But in the case of the one in Ondo State, southwest of Nigeria, Bishop, there was nobody to fire back, and that means there was a lot of casualties and a lot of people died.
Not even only that, if you watch the Texas report, in a few hours, in a few minutes, just few minutes, police, they all gather around there to respond to the incident and get the report of what happened. After 2-3 days, that's when you could see one police uniform among the people that came to see what happened in our church. And that is when one politician came, and the police came with the politician. Police was not there to do anything. Wow. That's one. 2, when that incident was happening, the people in that street, what were they doing? They don't want to die. What were they doing? If they have made an attempt and blocked the 2 sides of the road, they won't go scot-free. I think they came with a boss. I mean, how can a whole group of people, nation, render cowardice? I mean, I couldn't. It's annoying. And so I'm looking at, maybe they don't know, maybe they're afraid to take arms to protect themselves. They need to be told that it is right and legal. And any harm you can't take, it is right. So far you do that to protect yourself for being killed, or somebody, your loved ones around you, for being killed, or your property, either movable or immovable. That is what the penal code of your fucking fraudulent constitution says. And why are you not activating that before complaining?
Well, once again, this is
Star Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Are you turning it up, or are you not turning it up? If you are listening to us from your car, you could just...
Are you ready to turn it up? All around the world.
Let's just take this short, beautiful, musical from Omolara. Let's enjoy that while we calm the situation down and we continue to remember those that were killed. Bishop, I met you in Nigeria, and during Easter time. I don't know whether you remember seeing Adogon while it was while you were there for those 2 or 3 days, but it's gonna be almost a year on Saturday that the federal government, no, on Friday, literally, because they came in on Thursday, that the federal government killed Adogon and Alhaji Fatai. We will remember them in just about a few minutes. Let's enjoy this musical intro.
Yeah, he remains our hero.
And this is from Janet. Let's enjoy it.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
best radio show.
We will continue to praise him, especially as so many innocent lives have died for the negligence of a system that refused to put in the structures in place. I'm just reading some of the comments, and keep those comments coming. I'll be picking them at random. I could see, Sister Joy is very angry. She's very angry with that sad face. I say good evening to you, Ade Ola Ade. And also, Ogundele says, Koiki, think there is no other option rather than to exit from this contraction domain. Bishop, let me come back again to you. It is now 5 minutes to 7 p.m. Like I said, we will summarize all these, just enough ample of time before the end of the program in our local dialect, the language, the Yoruba language, for the benefit of our listeners back home. But for now, let us all, as we're watching this program, continue to enjoy. You can follow us on Star Radio UK on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and you can join me every Wednesday between 6 p.m. I'm working on a guest. If all goes as planned, I'm not going to reveal the guest, but it will probably make it down to the studio next week. A very, very important person that a lot of those at home knows very well. I won't give you the clue yet. Maybe I might before the end of the program. We're already having this conversation, and we hope we can have him here. Especially, these are individuals that have millions of followers around the globe, and let's hear their view, especially from the perspective of whether Nigeria can continue to hold, or it is a total disintegration of Nigeria. Thank you so much, Miss Liz Dada says, please end Nigeria, break it, save lives, Yoruba nation, no going back. Let's go back again to you. Good evening to you, Mrs. Adeleke, Blessing Mary, and the rest of you that have joined us. Let's continue to remember those that died. Bishop, let me come back again to you. You wanted to go into the other part of this conversation. We still haven't even looked at, what is the universal, civil right from the United Nations Chapter Agreement. But we want to look at self-defense as a vital right from the religious perspective from the Bible. What do you understand? What do you mean by that?
Now, self-defense as a vital right from religious perspective has to do with a cultural perspective. You cannot separate religion from culture. So, every human ethnicity, they are identified with a unique culture, their own culture. So, even as an entity inside Nigeria, your culture, your ethnicity, it is enshrined in your norms. Your self-defense as a right. And I want to show you, I want to let a lot of Nigerian believers to understand this. Stop listening to your fake pastors. I am a bishop. I am a clergy. Majority of your pastors in Nigeria are scripturally illiterate. They are tools of hypnotism. They are money mongers. The end of all their teachings is bring money. I was trained in Israel. I once believed their stupidity until I saw light. And everything I thought I knew, I knew nothing until my orientation was changed right from Hebrew text. What you are reading in English most of the time are misinterpreted, because scripture was actually written in Hebrew by Hebrew Jewish people. Jesus was a Jew. He was born a Jew. The early patriarch prophets were Jews, were Hebrews, Israelites. And the scripture were written in their language and in their idiomatic expressions. So you need to be baptized into their education to understand the scripture, not the direct translation of English and you took it for what you just read. A lot of teachings that I thought I knew, and when I'm taught again, direct from the Hebrew perspective, I say, wow. So this is exactly what he's saying, and it's reality. It's reality. It's reality. That's why when you go to Israel, they are not religious. They are not religious. They live among enemies and they are prospering. And their security is tight and they are peaceful among enemies. You are living among yourself, no security. Because the basis of your life is lie. Lie. The Bible says the kingdom of God did not come by superstition. Ìjọba ọ̀run kò wá pẹ̀lú ojú ìṣáájú in Yoruba. It didn't come by superstition. John said that what we teach you were things that we lay hands on and we've handled. We've experimented. And it is true. We've proved it. That's why they could lay their life for it, because it's reality. You are not being taught the truth. You are not being taught reality. You are being hypnotized into a certain ideology and order. So you can continually be manipulated. And that's the reason when you are caught at a corner and you are asking a question, they impose a decision back to you because they have no answer. No, that's when you know that you are being hypnotized. The word of God is reality. Jesus Christ said it. He said, such is the Father seeketh, those who worship him in spirit and in truth. The truth means reality. He said, such is the Father seeketh. God will be more real to you first when you remove religion from your head and you are just clear and open. Then you begin to know God. That's the first step. When I was learning in Israel, they tell me, first thing, remove religion. They said they don't practice religion. I said, okay, what happened to what is called Judaism? He said, it is you people that call it Judaism. They say it is our traditional belief. My God. And I look at all those called traditional belief. It's not different from back home. Our own traditional people here. The same culture, the same behavior, the same dressing. And one of my books that I did recently, the same language. Their tongue is just funkified. It's the same language. And the other ones, I found out that Mommy Onitiri was confirming it yesterday when she was talking online. And she said she met a white who were asking her that you are from Nigeria. She said yes. Okay, what part of Nigeria? She said from Yoruba, the southwest. And the white man told her that you are a descendant of Israel. Do you know that? She said no, she's not aware of that. And she was confirmed to that there are some documents that they hide away from you people. They took away the people that are here that actually know our story as a slave away. Because they know that our education comes from socialization. You take your children to your auntie, you take your children to your mommy, you take your children to your sister, you know. The same education that was passed to you, they pass it. Before it comes back to you, is already matured, you know. So they took the elderly ones as captives away. Then they left the new ones coming up without no direction, without no information, not knowing who they are, what is their virtue, what's their orientation. So they can now tell you that you are a monkey. They tell you are a monkey. They tell you are this, you are that. They took your heritage and package it and come and sell it back for you. Most of the information in the Bible are our history. They are our ancestral history. Let me catch up on that so that people will not argue on, okay, how are we sure we are not Israel? We are a tribe of Israel. Yoruba is from the tribe of Issachar. So that I wrote a book on that. You can go for it. Now, Let's look at self-defense from cultural religious perspective. Genesis chapter 9 verse 6. Genesis 9 verse 6. He said, whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man. What it says is, the killer is qualified to be killed. Remove sentiment. That is just what he's saying. Go to Exodus 22 verse 2. He said, if a thief, now the thief, I in the fraudulent constitution that I read the other time, he elaborated the thieves. Either you're a kidnapper, either you are a terrorist, an intruder. He leaves the thief. Now the same thing culturally is placed here. You can't call my culture for me as a religion. It is my heritage. What is in it? From house they are taught. You should not kill, you should not steal, you should not... Don't call that for me as a religion. It's my heritage. So I'm not religious. And there's nothing like religion. Religion is politics. It's politics. And that is what they use to colonize. So, Exodus 22 verse 2, he said, if a thief, I've elaborated thief for you, be found breaking up. In other words, it is found dealt with. He said, and be smitten that he dies. He said, there shall no blood be shed for him. Synonyms for thief, I explained: kidnapper, bandit, terrorist. What he's saying here is that when a gang come to steal, kill, or to destroy some people, or you, and those gang, and the people gang up, or you rise up and destroy those gangs, the action you took is justified. That's what he's saying. These are elementary ethics of self-defense, elementary ethics in just norms and cultural beliefs that cannot be taken away from every ethnic groups. Right to defend themselves. You came to take people's life and they take your life. No crime. That is where the modern national constitution, that is where the self-defense rules was generated from. So you don't be sentiment. It's your right. From the deep down of your bone marrow, you have the legal right to treat the fucking hell of anybody that come to play shit of you, of your loved ones.
All right. Let us. I know as much as you are very, very angry.
I see. I have more to say.
No.
I'm
talking the F word because of our listeners. Let us be mindful of that.
Sorry, I'm very sorry because I'm so more upset. Now, Proverbs 26 verse 27. Proverbs 26 verse 27. He said, whosoever diggeth a pit shall fall therein. And he that roll a stone, it will be rolled upon. What he's telling us, it states clearly that whatever measure of attack a man prepare for another person, he himself deserves equivalent. That's what he's saying. Now, if you say all that is Old Testament, we'll say let's go to New Testament. Let's go to New Testament. Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killed with the sword must. The word must was written there. Must be killed with sword. Is a justice, right? He said here is the patience of and faith of the saint. It's a justice right of justice. Your self-defense is your right, and it's a right of justice. It cannot be taken from you. What he's saying is whatever the equipment the attacker brings, with equivalent equipment, he shall be dealt with too. If you have gun, you can use it. So far it's licensed. And don't be afraid to take it out and scare off the mad people. So it is a customary and a vital right, and it has not changed. It has not changed. Okay. Did Jesus talk about self-defense? Let's check Matthew 26. Matthew 26 verse 1. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Then said Jesus unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Now listen, Jesus was not surprised that Peter had a sword. And I will take you to the backbone before that. He was not surprised that Peter take his sword. Jesus licensed sword for his disciples for corporate and personal self-defense. I will take you to verse where he gave that order. Therefore, in this passage, he told Peter to return the sword back to save, because he is in charge of his own arrest. Jesus is not a martyr. A martyr is somebody that died for what he believed. Jesus died for a reason. He was buried for a reason. And he rose from the dead. God rose him from the dead for a reason. Because he is the head of all principalities and power. So only láti fi ara ẹ̀ ṣe ètùtù yẹn, and after he did that, that is all. He said it is finished. Now look at that, in charge of his own arrest, and that's the reason why he did that. Let's go to where he gave the order. Luke 22 verse 35 to 36. Luke 22 verse 35 to 36. He said, and he said unto them, when I sent you without purse and scrip and shoes, lack ye anything? And they said, nothing. Verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, if you have a bank account, let him take money from your bank account. He said, and likewise his scrip, if you have some safes. He said, and he that hath no sword, I repeat it, sword, weapon of defense, sword, he said, let him sell his garment and buy one. A licensed weapon for them for self-defense. So that's the reason he was not surprised that that Peter bring out sword to defend him the other time.
So if I once again, if you've just joined us, this is
Star Radio UK.
Welcome
to those of you that have just joined us for the very first time. It is now 13 minutes past, and it is again.
This is Star Radio UK.
So if I can hear you clearly, even from the scripture, there's right to defend yourself and your family.
Yes, and right instruction from the mouth of Jesus Christ. And Jesus had not changed it when he rose from dead. He didn't change it. He said, go and buy one.
Wow. Once again, the benefit of these tonight is to because there's so much killings happening in Nigeria, and every day, people are sending videos. Maybe some are not sure what actually needs to be done. Maybe they are waiting for the security operatives, to come and save lives. Which there's been a lot of compromise when you look at the security architect as it is right now in Nigeria. Like I said, towards the end of this program, we will then try to summarize it as much as possible in our own language, which is Yoruba. But for now, we are still, going through the stages. We still have the universal right, but from the scripture is what we are reviewing. Those that might probably be wondering, why is it so dark on the other side where Bishop is? I know you might not be aware, but Bishop is actually in Nigeria, and part of the issues Nigerians are facing is the power surge. Because I'm sure people are asking, why is one side of the globe bright and the other side is as dark? I'm not sure whether there's any way we can do this. Apart from we will just continue. We might probably not see much of the face of Bishop. So what we might probably do for the time being, so that it doesn't just look as dark, we will still be able to hear the voice of Bishop from the network that we are using back with him. And I hope you can still hear me loud and clear.
Yeah.
All right, so we will just leave it as it is right now, and we hope maybe the engineers will probably pull up Bishop's face towards the background somehow. But for now, at least you can hear his voice. Good evening once again, Bishop, and let's fire on as it's now 7:15 p.m.
Oh, all right. Let me just round off the cultural religious aspect before I go to the United Nations Charter. Jesus made it clear from the beginning of his ministry in John chapter 10 verse 10. He said, "Thief comes not but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy." He said, "I have come that they might have life, and that they might have it to more abundantly, to the fullness." So what Jesus is saying here is that I am here to give you security of life and property against your enemies' terrorist attacks. Jesus has dealt with the issue of security. You will be fooling yourself for allowing yourself to be killed for nothing, or praying when that person is handling weapon, killing you, killing your child, killing you, and you are there. You are a coward. You shouldn't be praying, because that is not time for prayer. It's time to use what you have and defend yourself and defend your people, the people you are head over. So if you are a pastor, you have a church, and you open the church for people to come in, to come and die, is that the reason? So what's your responsibility? If you will receive to defend and protect the people, then close up that church. At least put them online. Let be worshiping online. There is Zoom fellowship. So it is your responsibility for you to defend yourself. It is not just a right, it is also your responsibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Well, I hope everybody is ready to turn it up. If not, just again.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Star Radio UK.
Bishop, we're going to be going into the part that maybe will give us a better clarification, a better understanding around these issue of self-defense that we are looking at tonight. And that is what is the United Nations Charter actually telling us. Good evening to you, Mrs. Comfort. Good evening to you, Aziz Olami. Good evening, Oluwaseun Yomi Alabi Abraham. Good evening to those of you that are watching us on all the platforms this evening. And that is the self-defense as universal civil right from United Nations Charter Agreement. What does that mean for a layman?
All right, thank you very much. Now, before coming up to that, that's why I emphatically give you the backup from your national constitution, your right from there. Culturally, the virtual right as an ethnicity, a nation on earth. So to know the right and trench as a human being, before now going to United Nations. Now, United Nations has an article. Now, for self-defense in United Nations Charter, you go to Article 51. Article 51 is stated, nothing in the present charter shall impair the inherent right. Can you see that? United Nations takes you back to your right as an ethnic group. That's why you use inherent right. Abinibi, eto abinibi, inherent. As a Yoruba person, as an Igbo person, as a this person, not just as a country, because they know that ethnics are grouped together in some countries, but each ethnic city has this inherent right for self-defense. So they take you back to your grassroots that you have the right, and that's why they put it there, inherent right. Nothing in the present chapter shall impair the inherent right of individual or collective self-defense. So as an individual or as a nation, as an ethnic group, collective self-defense if an armed attack occurs against a member of the United Nations. Every ethnicity on earth is a member of the United Nations. He said, until the Security Council has taken measures necessary to maintain international peace and security. What he is saying is this: you have the right as an ethnic group, as a nation, as an individual, to defend yourself, to attack the person that want to attack you, to kill the person that want to kill you or your loved ones, or intrude your property, until United Nations Security Council steps in. You have the right to continue and use any weapon you can until they steps in. Then you go forward. How will United Nations Security Council steps in? It continue. Subsection B. He say measures taken by members in the exercise of this right of self-defense shall be immediately reported to the Security Council and shall not in any way affect the authority and responsibility of the Security Council under present charter to take at any time such action as it deems necessary in order to maintain or restore international peace and security. In other words, whenever you start defending yourself, they said memo United Nations Security Council, and they said nothing will hold them back to say, we are busy now, we don't have chance, or we are handling one responsibility in one part of the world, we don't have nothing is the excuse. So far you have informed them, they are bound to respond to your defense. They are bound to respond to your defense. They will come and support
the best radio show.
That is what is in their charter, that you can defend yourself, and while you are defending yourself, inform them so that they can help and come and protect you and maintain peace. That is what, and whatever you use to defend yourself is not a crime. That's what they say. It is not a crime. So therefore, self-defense is our inherent right as a nation, as a Yoruba nation, against internal or external aggression or invasion. And you are justified to use any weapon until the United Nations Security Council intervene for international peace. So Yoruba nation should set to defend itself.
Okay.
And stop being coward. Thank you.
We're going to come into that once again.
The best radio show.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
All around the world.
This is Star Radio UK.
In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
Welcome.
It's just coming up to just 6 minutes before 7:30. Welcome once again. Ogundele says, Bishop, you are speaking undiluted truth, and I want to confirm to you that the Quran also confirmed it. We will be going into a bit of the angle that a lot of the Yorubas are concerned, and I want to hear your views when it comes to, you know, the view that something is brewing. We don't know what is brewing, but from the intelligence and the conversation on the table, the views and what we are following in terms of the trend, we will play this audio again, and I want you to help me to explain to our listeners what is saying with what we are discussing, because we're now looking at Nigeria where there's influx of terrorists from the other region coming into the country. Do we have the right to defend ourselves? As you've been explaining, under the United Nations chapter. But before we do that, let us listen to these, myself and you and all our listeners.
And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria. Don't joke with what I'm saying. I have a PhD from Oxford University. I'm a central banker. We don't talk nonsense. So don't joke with what I'm telling you. I have this from the highest possible authority, higher authorities of some of the commanders of the killers and Boko Haram.
You said northern governors, past or present, Dr. Badaya?
No, current. No, they said one of them is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. One of them. And they're not looking for money. They have more than enough money. In fact, he told me they just came back from...
Bishop, I mean, each time, good evening to you, Otumba Destiny. You says recognize Yoruba National. Good evening to you, Akiwande, Mr. Femi. Good evening. Good evening to you, Prince Daniel Odua today. Good evening, Dari Samuel, Alaji Akoride, and the rest of you. Bishop, I mean, each time I listen to the late Dr. Malafi Obadia, I get concerned, and the reason is some of what he's talking about is actually now materializing, maybe not in a large scale as we can talk about it, but when we look at the rural areas, we've had a lot of attacks by the terrorists, going into the rural area, kidnapping, killing, maiming. When we look at the current one that we are looking at right now, when you look at the Owo, this is not a rural area. This is an urban city because it's not in the forest, it's not in the bush, and they were able to commit quite a lot of atrocity. And that also goes on to other areas in the southeast, the middle belt, the northeast, and the northwest. What is your concern, from what you've heard from the late Dr. Malafia Adeyemo, so rest in peace?
Thank you very much. My concern is the silence of the governors, the Western Nigerian governors, the conspiracy of silence, as if nothing is happening, as if everything is okay. And they are not responding to the security need of the people. You see a governor going with almost 15 convoy. Only him. The entire security architect structure of the state work only for him. He is the state. The governor is the state. So if they kill everybody in the state, so far the governor is safe, the state exists. It's only crazy people that behave like that. I'm sorry for using that nasty word again. It's only funny people that behave like that. So I'm just worried. I'm rest assured because apart from all these measures, there are spiritual perspective to all these things. I'm rest assured. I know that they will fail. All those people will fail. They are bound to fail. They are programmed to fail. They must fail. Because the way they are working is a way of failure. And they will fail. It's bound. So I'm rest assured of that. You cannot invade Yoruba land. I can't tell you some mysteries. It's in Israel they are telling me what is in Yoruba land. From Israel, they are telling me wherever the children of Israel settle. Yoruba didn't just come and settle in Ile-Ife. Those who journey down there, they walk with certain map direction. And they discover what they need to discover and settle there. There is something there that makes all of us to stay here. And for more than 2,000 years, Yoruba have been existing here. 500 before Christ, Yoruba has been here. 500 BC, Yoruba has been here. And it is not now that some gang of people will say they want to wipe Yoruba away or take over our land. Let me tell you, some invisible personality will rise up and will fight them. Hand that people can't see will fight them.
Okay.
Weapon that cannot be touched will harm them. So all those ones, I'm rest assured. But nevertheless, Yoruba people, the indigenous people living in this place, defend yourself. Defend yourself. Let God do his part, then you do your part. Defend yourself. Don't just be irresponsible. Just like your governors. Don't rely on your governors. In as much you didn't rely on your fake pastors. Don't rely on them. It happened too in the time of the children of Judah when they're in Babylon. It happens. Jeremiah was in Jerusalem. After they've taken the land in captivity to Babylon. They are already in Babylon, as I said. Jeremiah remained in Jerusalem. He was watching over what's happening there, and then he was giving them feedback in diaspora. So all those who are in diaspora were giving them cock and bomb stories. So they are going to come back now. They are going to go in a moment. They are going to Jeremiah told them the truth. He said, you are going to stay there for 70 years. He said, get up yourself. Marry. Eat. Do your normal thing you're supposed to do. Because the plan of God is not the plan of man. The way heaven is far to the head. That's the way God orientation is different from human. He is working his things in his own time. He will achieve what he needs to achieve. There is a program and there is an achievement for Yoruba nation. Yoruba nation will stand. It is already in the astronomy. It has been shown since 2017. 2017, it shows. And it's people that want to know that I will be able to be teaching, because it's not just to explain it. I need to teach you for you to understand. How you go to astronomy, you now see Yoruba nation has shown since 2017. It's there and it cannot be removed. So it's God's plan, it's God's program. It's God's program. So you, even if you say that you don't want Yoruba nation, at a appointed time you won't know the spirit that will enter into you. You will fight for your land. The Bible says there is a spirit in man, the breath of the Almighty God. Except if you are a dead cough. If you are living, you are breathing, and you are a Yoruba person, that spirit will rise at the appropriate time. So Yoruba nation is achieved already, and even some people just follow the campaign. They follow it for wrong motive, but before they know it, they are the one doing the right thing for the achievement, and they can't explain. Even though the politicians are giving them money, they cannot but do the right thing. So we've already achieved the nation, but we need to defend ourselves. Thank you.
The best radio show.
This is Star Radio UK.
Welcome.
Well, let's take some of the comment that is coming very fast. Mrs. Comfort, fellow Yoruba nationals, good evening. And Nigeria now, do not attempt to resurrect Nigeria anymore. Yoruba nation now, Sabila Ogundele, Quran made clear that we must defend ourselves, our family, and our properties. Whoever fails to do that is a coward. Oluwatayo, good evening to you as well. Happy Rashid, good evening to you. Good evening to you, Salio Adio. Akinwande say, very soon Yoruba nation will stand. Please get ready to defend yourselves. Wake up your gods. Good evening to you as you are joining as well. African Force, good evening to you. I'm going to like us to go into a bit of our language because of we want as many of our people back home to also benefit from this very important conversation. So just as we started from the introduction of the English perspective of the conversation, we still have about almost 45 minutes or thereabout to play with. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is
Star Radio UK,
and with me today, it's quite dark on the other side in his location where he's talking to us, but you can still hear him loud and clear. Bishop, Ekrole Ekabosori Etoti Ankpeni Star Radio UK tí a mọ̀ sí Naija Voices ní ọjọ́jọ́ Wednesday ló máa ń wáyé. Fáǹfààní àwọn èèyàn wa tó ń gbọ́ wa nílé àtàwọn tó ń gbọ́ wa ní oko, torí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa èdè wa gangan ni wọ́n fẹ́ fi gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́yé ohun tí a ti ń sọ bọ̀ ní èdè èyìnbó láti bí wákàtí kan àtàbọ̀. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí láti dáàbò bo ara ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí constitution Nàìjíríà tí a mọ̀ pé fraudulent one ni. Ẹ bá wa ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ fáwọn èèyàn wa tó ń gbọ́ nílé àti lóko.
Ok, ẹ ṣé púpọ̀. Màá gbìyànjú láti sọ Yorùbá, then màá ṣe ní kọ́mọ́nkóbó. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá, gẹ́gẹ́ bí òfin ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà location 419, òfin ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà fún yín ní àǹfààní gẹ́gẹ́ bí àgbékalẹ̀ òfin nínú ìwé òfin àkọsílẹ̀ 59, section 59 of Penal Code. Penal Code means àkọsílẹ̀ ìbániwí ìdájọ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀, àkọsílẹ̀ ìdájọ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀, Penal Code. Ó sọ wípé ohunkóhun tí ẹ bá ṣe láti fi dáàbò bo ara yín kí ẹnikẹ́ni má ṣe kó má lè ṣe yín ní ṣùtá. Ohunkóhun tí ẹ bá ṣe fún ẹni náà ó ní pé àṣegbé ni, wípé kò lẹ́jọ́ nínú. So tí ẹnikẹ́ni bá sọ wípé òun fẹ́ wá ṣe yín ní ṣùtá, ẹ ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti ṣe òun náà ní jàǹbá kó tó lè rí yín ṣe ní ṣùtá. Then ohunkóhun tí ó bá wù yín tẹ́ bá fi ṣe ní ṣùtá kò lẹ́jọ́ nínú. Ọlọ́pàá ó mọ òfin yìí, àwọn agbẹjọ́rò àti àwọn adájọ́ wọ́n mọ òfin yìí, nítorí pé tí ó bá di ẹjọ́ ẹ lè ní pé ó fẹ́ wá ṣe yín ní ṣùtá, ẹ̀dẹ̀ fi eléyìí dáàbò bo ara yín. Òfin yìí sọ wípé kò lẹ́jọ́ nínú nítorí apànìyàn lòun. Then kó tó pa yín ẹ tètè yanjú ẹ̀, nítorí ilé tí yín lẹ wà. Then ó tún tẹ̀síwájú, ó ní wípé kì í ṣe ènìyàn nìkan, tó bá jẹ́ onítọ̀hún ó tún wọlé wá bá yín tàbí ó lọ sí ìdí nǹkan yín, tàbí ó fẹ́ ṣe ènìyàn tí ẹ mọ̀ rí ní ṣùtá. So kò ṣẹ̀yìn nìkan náà, òfin yẹn tún sọ wípé ẹ lè ṣe onítọ̀hún ní ṣùtá tó bá jẹ́ ẹni tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ rí ló fẹ́ ṣe ní ṣùtá, tàbí tó bá jẹ́ pé ó wọ inú ìyẹ̀wù yín wá, tàbí tó lọ fọwọ́ ba nǹkan yín, ẹ lè ṣe ní ṣùtá. Òfin yẹn ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Tó bá dẹ̀dẹ̀jọ́ ẹ máa ní pé ó fọwọ́ ba nǹkan mi. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí òfin yìí ó ní pé mo lè ṣe ní ṣùtá nítorí pé ó kọjá àyè ẹ̀, ó fẹ́ wá ṣe wá ní ṣùtá. So a tètè yanjú ẹsẹ̀. So irú àwọn àdàmọ̀dì òfin tí ìjọba Nàìjíríà gbé sílẹ̀ rèé tí ẹ lè múlò láti dáàbò bo ara yín. Àwọn tó wá ń ṣèkà wọ̀nyí, àwọn mọ òfin yìí bọ̀ wọ́n wá yí sí àdàmọ̀dì fún wọn. Wọ́n ní káwọn lọ ṣe yín ní ṣùtá. Táwọn bá ti ṣe yín ní ṣùtá, tẹ́yìn bá wá mú wọn, kàkà kẹ́kẹ́ ti yanjú wọn, ẹ máa lọ gbé wọn fọ́lọ́pàá. Tán bá dọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá, wọ́n máa lo òfin yìí fún ọlọ́pàá. Wọ́n á ní àwọn ṣe ṣùtá yẹn nítorí àwọn fi dáàbò bo ara wọn ni, pẹ́yìn lẹ́fẹ́ ṣèkà fún wọn. Òun ni àwọn ọ̀gá wọn ṣe máa pàṣẹ kán fi wọ́n sílẹ̀. Wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe.
Ẹ jẹ́ a gbọ́ ọ́díò yìí tí wọ́n fi ránṣẹ́ sí wa láti ilẹ̀ Káàárọ̀ Òjíire. Ẹ jẹ́ a gbọ́ ohun tí arákùnrin tó sọ.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ńgbà tí ẹ dé Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn?
Èmi wá lánàá, wọ́n sọ pé àwọn Haúsá gba machine lọ́wọ́ mi. Wọ́n dẹ̀ mú Haúsá kan tán lórí machine tán mú pẹ̀lú ankọ́pù lọ́wọ́ tán fi sínú sẹ́ẹ̀lì tí tán ní tó bá di èmi pé a máa lọ sẹ́kọ̀ọ́tà ní Àkúrẹ́. Mo dẹ̀ ti dé báyìí ní àárọ̀ nìkan bí 7:30. Ìgbà tí mo dé, àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn sọ pé ẹni tán arrest ó ti ní sàbí àpò nínú sẹ́ẹ̀lì.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ gbà tẹ́ ẹ débi sẹ́ẹ̀lì yẹn, jẹ́ wọ́n fọ ní sọ́nà já ọ́fíìsì wọn ń bẹ̀ náà, báwo náà ló ṣe rìn?
Kí ìtọ́ fi tì í ó wà lẹ́nu ẹ̀, wọn ò ṣí kí. Wíńdò ẹ̀ lélẹ̀, wíńdò ẹ̀ kéré, èèyàn ọmọ kékeré gan ò lè gba ojú wíńdò ẹ̀.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kí láwọn ìgbésẹ̀ kan padà gbé nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ tó sá lọ tí wọ́n ní wọn ò rí mọ́?
Wọ́n pe ọ̀gá wọn Daland Sẹ́ríkì wọn. Sẹ́ríkì ẹ̀ wá ní àná tó ń sọ fún àwa níbi báyìí pé kí n má wọrí pé máṣíìnì kó o má bá mi wá jáde. Ìgbà tó wá di èyí báyìí ó lóun mọ bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn rí. Mo wá ní àwọn àtẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sọ pé o mọ bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn rí. Láàárọ̀ àná ẹ ra bírèdì àti mínírà ẹ rà wá ẹ wá fún mínírà tútù àti bírèdì ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ ní ẹ̀ mọ bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn rí.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ láti ẹ̀kọ́ yẹn jẹ́ ó ní nǹkan míì tí wọ́n tún ti ṣe ìgbésẹ̀ kí láwọn nǹkan táwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn tó ti padà ṣe.
Wọ́n ní a lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ṣáṣá náà a lọ bá wọn.
Bishop agbọ́n tí arákùnrin yìí sọ, ó ní àwọn Fúlàní tí Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn mú, wọ́n ní kóun padà wá níjọ́ kejì. Fúlàní má ti pòórà, ẹ̀mú yẹn dání sọ́wọ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká padà ká lọ rántí wákìlì àmọ́ mọ́bi tó wọlé sí ní agbólóńgó níbi tí wọ́n fi sí tí wọ́n wá bírèkì bẹ̀ títí dọ̀la ìjọba Ọ̀yọ́ state kò tí ì lè jáde sọ fún wa pé wákìlì tí wọ́n mú ó wà nínú ẹ̀wọ̀n àbí ó ti pòórá. Ǹjẹ́ arákùnrin yìí nísìnyí tí ó sá lọ yìí kí ló tún lè padà wá ṣe fún àwọn ará agbègbè yẹn nígbà táwọn ará agbègbè fúnra wọn tí wọ́n defend ara wọn.
Àwọn Yorùbá ló gọ̀ because Yorùbá a máa ń ṣera wa a rò pé agbọ́n and ọgbọ́n àgbọ́jù ọ̀dẹ̀ ló máa ń mú sọ́nídà ọ̀dẹ̀ òmùgọ̀ gbogbo ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ kò ṣàjòjì sí Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn kò ṣàjòjì sí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe báwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ló wà nínú Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn now so nígbà tí tán mú apààyàn ní this kind of situation tí wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé tán bá ń dé ọ̀dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá wọ́n máa ń fi wọ́n lẹ̀ ni so àwọn tó mú wọn lọ fún so àwọn mọ̀ wọ́n kàn mọ̀ fẹ́ fi lẹ̀.
sáfẹ́ sọ pé ọlọ́pàá àti àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn wọ́n ti gba àbọ̀dè àbí báwo.
ọlọ́pàá ló gba àbọ̀dè Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ò gba àbọ̀dè Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn yọ̀dẹ̀. ọmọ Yorùbá l'Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó lè ṣe fún irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ tán bá tiẹ̀ mú tán fẹ́ gbé lọ fún ọlọ́pàá ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ó níṣẹ́ tán lè ṣe sí lára. adé sọ adé àǹdẹ̀ Yorùbá nígbà tó mọ̀ pọ̀ máa filẹ̀ tán bá dẹ̀ filẹ̀ ó ti tán nígbà tó nírí mọ́. So bọ̀ kì í ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ mú ẹ wá lọ kí lẹ mú fún kí ni gbogbo wàhálà yín já sí nígbà tẹ́ mọ̀ pé ọ máa filẹ̀. So we are Yorubas, then we should go back to our bases and be wise. Èmi kàn rí wípé gbogbo àwọn kinní kò tí ì kan àwọn ọba wa. Tó bá ti kan àwọn ọba, ẹ rí wípé nígbà tí wọ́n pa ọba Ifọ̀n ní ọjọ́ sí, Governor Ondo orí ẹ̀ spark ó take action immediately ó kọ́kọ́ ní kán lé gbogbo Fúlàní kúrò l'Ondo ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí take action. So àwọn people yìí wà comfortable wọ́n gbọ́n wọ́n ń rí yín tẹ̀ ń pariwo wọ́n ń wò yín kí ló ń ṣe yín kí ló ń ṣe yín kọ́ ọ̀ mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣe kì í ṣe pé wọ́n mọ̀ kò tí ì wá sí wọn lọ́kàn nítorí kò ì kàn wọ́n tó bá kàn wọ́n ó máa yà yín lẹ́nu that's why lèmi ṣe mọ̀ wípé àwọn tó ń ṣe gbogbo kinní wọ̀nyí wọ́n máa fail wọ́n tẹ̀ ti fail already nítorí o ò lè wá gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá o ò lè gbà kò possible that doesn't mean we will relax and fold our hands. But kò possible because àwọn tó mọ nǹkan tó ń pè Yorùbá tó bá jọ mọ nǹkan tó bá pàwọn Fúlàní yẹn gan mọ nǹkan tó ń pè Yorùbá wọ́n ti sá kúrò ní igbó tó wà yẹn ti pẹ́ wọ́n lọ bá wọn ọ̀gá wọn páwọn ò lè ṣiṣẹ́ yìí they will limit themselves to not tó ń ṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
ẹ ṣe gan ni fáǹfààní gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ṣẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa ibi tí à ń pè ní.
This is Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
The best radio show.
ẹni tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́hùn wọn òun ni Bishop Adeshina àwọn ni àtijọ́ ń gbé ọ̀rọ̀ kalẹ̀ ní èdè òyìnbó kó tó di pé à ń sọ ní èdè tiwantiwa kí ọ̀rọ̀ náà kó lè yé àwọn èèyàn wa nílé ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́ ọ́díò yìí ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ọ̀wọ̀ kó tó di pé bàbá máa wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí kí ni Bíbélì gan sọ kí ni ẹ̀sìn sọ lórí kí a dáàbò bo ara wa àbí a kọ́ máa wò ní kí wọ́n pa gbogbo wa tán ẹ jájọ gbọ́ ohun yìí lọ́dọ̀ àwọn ẹnjìníà wa. Bishop, ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ọ̀wọ̀ nílùú Ondo State níbi tí jàǹbá wọlé wá tọ̀ wọ́n, àmọ́ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ irú ẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Amẹ́ríkà ní Texas tí arákùnrin kan gbébọn wọlé tó yìn fún ìkànnà àwọn ọmọ ìjọ náà dìde wọ́n dá ìbọn padà wọ́n yìn fún ẹni tó gbébọn dání. bọ́ nílùú ti Ọ̀wọ̀ a máa rò pé èèyàn kankan gbé nǹkan kan dání ju bíbélì tí ó wà pẹ̀lú wọn, àmọ́ ọjọ́ burúkú lọ́jọ́ tá à ń sọ yìí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò bàbá wa Ayọ̀délé Adélẹ́yẹ last born, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìyá wa Rukayat Ọmọwùnmí, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Kí ni ẹ̀sìn sọ lórí ìdáàbò kó tó di pé a máa padà sí kí ni United Nations sọ, kí lẹ̀sìn sọ gangan lórí ìdáàbòbò ara wa àtàwọn ẹbí wa?
Ẹ̀sìn ò sọ wípé ká má dáàbò bora wa. Ẹ̀sìn sọ fún wa wípé ẹni tí ó bá gbẹ́ kòtò fúnra ẹ̀ ló máa jìn sínú ẹ̀. Ó ní ẹni tó bá ti korobá lu ni korobá máa yí, ẹni tó bá yí dòlù ni lodó máa yí lù. Ẹ̀sìn jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wípé kò sáṣegbé, wípé àṣepamọ́ ni ó wà. Ohun tó bá ṣe fún èèyàn, ẹ̀san ẹ̀ ó wà lórí ìwọ náà. So o ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti gba ẹ̀san ìjàmbá tó bá fẹ́ wá ṣe. So ọmọ Yorùbá ò ní láti fọwọ́ lẹ́rán kan máa ṣe wọ́n ní jàmbá. Ọmọ Yorùbá láti dìde láti dáàbò bo ara wọn, láti ohunkóhun tó bá fẹ́ ṣe wọ́n ní jàmbá láti dá padà. Tá a bá wo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tí Jésù nígbà tí wọ́n fẹ́ mú Pétérù, ó yọ idà lápò, ó gé etí kan nínú ẹ̀ṣọ́ àwọn ìjọba ìgbà yẹn. Jésù wá sọ fún wípé Pétérù, dá idà rẹ padà sínú akọ. Ó ní nítorí pé àwọn tó ń lò wọ́n tó gbọ́kànlé ipa ẹ̀ ni wọ́n fi ń kú. Now Jésù kò wá surprise wípé Pétérù yọ idà, kò wá surprise. So wọ́n ti ń mú dà káàkiri, òun náà ló license idà fún wọn láti máa dáàbò bo ara wọn àti máa fi ibi tó wà wọ̀nyí níbi tí Jésù ti pàṣẹ kí gbogbo wọn lọ rádà láti máa dáàbò bo ara wọn àti everybody. Ṣùgbọ́n ó ń ṣàlàyé níbẹ̀ wípé ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yẹn òun lòun wà nídìí ẹ̀, nítorí sábàbí yẹn láti ṣẹlẹ̀ kóun lè lọ ṣe ètùtù tóun fẹ́ ṣe, nítorí ó abí kí ó lè fi ara ènìyàn tí ó gbé wáyé fi ṣe ètùtù. Lẹ́yìn yìí, nítorí ẹ̀ ni lẹ́yìn tí ó jí agbé dìde, ó jíǹde, nítorí òun ló lórí àwọn alálẹ̀, òun ló ṣe wá kẹ́yìn. Ètùtù tó dẹ̀ ṣe yẹn fún ìràpadà gbogbo ẹ̀dá ènìyàn. Kò sálálẹ̀ kan tó wáyé tí ò kú, nítorí ẹ̀ la ṣe jí òun dìde. Then ibi tó ti pàṣẹ fún wọn wípé kí gbogbo wọn lọ ra idà. Ẹ bá wo torí iná tí ó sì ń bẹ̀rẹ̀, okay, tẹ bá wo Luke 22 verse 35 to 36, Jésù sọ níbẹ̀, ó ní nígbà tí mo rán yín jáde, ó ní ṣé mo fún yín ní àpò owó tàbí ẹyọ owó kẹ́ fi jẹun? Wọ́n wọ́n ní rárá kò fún wa kankan ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹun lọ́hùn ẹ dẹ̀ rówó ná alright ó ní pé gbogbo yín gbogbo owó tẹ bá ní nípamọ́ àti èyí tó wà lọ́wọ́ yín ó ní kí ẹnìkankan àti ẹni tí kò bá ní rárá ó ní kó lọ ta aṣọ ẹ̀ ó ní kó lọ ta aṣọ ó ní kí wọ́n ra ìdà kankan kan fi dáàbò bo ara wọn ibi tí mo sọ yẹn ẹ lè lọ tà ní èdè English or Yoruba Bible. I just try to interpret it in Yoruba. I'm reading from English Bible. So Jésù pa láṣẹ níbẹ̀ kí oníkàlùkù kí ó dáàbò bo ara ẹ̀ àti kí ó dáàbò bo ìjọ. So tó bá jẹ́ olórí ìjọ ó ṣí ìjọ sílẹ̀ káwọn èèyàn wá ó nílò ó dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé ewu wà nínú ìlú ó nílò láti ṣí ìjọ sílẹ̀ máa sọ fún wọn kó máa gbàdúrà ìkà ló ń ṣe nìyẹn náà ó ní láti pèsè ààbò fún ìjọ bóyá ọlọ́pàá ló fẹ́ gbà bóyá lára èèyàn ọmọ ìjọ ni èyí tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ ìjọ tó ṣiṣẹ́ ní ẹni security outfit mo rí kan tó ní sẹ̀lẹ̀ tó gbébọn wá church mo rí pastor kan tó níbọn tó gbébọn wá so everybody àwọn kan gbàdá wá sí church wọ́n gbé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ni you must be guided you must stand not lose up ẹ má faralẹ̀ ẹ má ìjáfara léwu so ìwọ tó bá dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé tilétilé ni àjẹsára wà ńbẹ̀ ẹ lọ jàmàlà ẹ lọ jẹwédú ẹ jẹ sára kẹ́ lè dáàbò bo àwọn olólùfẹ́ yín ṣùgbọ́n wípé kó wá sọ fún wọn pé ẹ máa gbàdúrà Ọlọ́run máa ṣe apààyàn ní èmi dẹ̀ máa sọ káwọn èèyàn kan máa lọ sí irú ìjọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó bẹ́tà kó wà nínú ilé ẹ̀ kó gbàdúrà kó dẹ̀ tilẹ̀kùn nínú ilé ẹ̀ against intruder. Thank you.
Eshigoni, thank you so much, Babawa Wahid. Dari, thank you so much. I love Yoruba Nation, you said. Dari said, Mr. Koiki, today is amazing. I love your dress. Thank you. Babawa Awotono Kende, good evening to you. African Force, good evening. Ayuba Adebi, good evening as well. Ejekagbo Inti, the governor of Benue State, Autumn, had to say in these short clip.
In fact, I want to call that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. A freedom fight agitator who said that, look, he wants liberation is for people. Why are you incarcerating him? Why are you not going to arrest Fulani men? Look at the bomb blast in train blast in Abuja to Kaduna. Up to today, our people are still being kept by these bandits. Where are the security? Where is the president? Where is the security to go out and rescue these people? Tell me what is happening. It is a shame. Tell me, Igboho, they went after him in the southwest and were able to stop him. At least we're not hearing about Igboho again. Why can't they stop these Fulani men who are terrorizing this country and have made it impossible? They come to Benue and kill, just in my local government, within the space of 40 people have been killed. More than 40 people. In another local government, over 20 people were killed. And then you want me to keep quiet. They want to intimidate us. I will never be intimidated. At least, let me talk. If at the end nothing happens, and some of you are keeping quiet, keep quiet. To your shame, but I want to say that the rest of Nigerians, you people are joking, and raised alarm in 2016 that these things were going to happen. What is it that I have not said? I have said it. If Nigerians want to get out of this, they should arise. Arise television, as your name implies. Arise and let us liberate ourselves. President Buhari and his cohorts are not able to do it.
Wow, Bishop, that was a very powerful one from that less than a minute interview of the governor of Benue State in the Middle Belt. He talked about why keep Mazinam Dekano for trying to liberate his people. Why go after Chief Sunday Igboho for trying to liberate his people? But yet the Fulanis are moving without any hesitation from the current government to stop them. Massacring, killing innocent Nigerians. Kilema Bawa so. Fanfa na wen eyan wa tó ń gbọ́ wa.
Taba ṣe tán a máa dìde. Kò tí wù wá ni. Taba ṣe tán gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá a máa dìde nítorí àwọn ògọ̀ ni wọ́n ló ṣe give ọ̀nà ṣe mú àwọn èèyàn àwọn mélòó àwọn wo ló lé ọlọ́pàá kúrò l'Ékòó during EndSARS. Secondary school boys and university students, not even the university students that they were just few that coordinated. Secondary school boys, police, àwọn ọlọ́pàá sá kúrò l'Ékòó fún 6 months, oṣù mẹ́fà. Bí ẹ̀dá kó rìn kó wọṣọ ọlọ́pàá títì fún oṣù mẹ́fà. Òun ni mo sọ pé Yorùbá ò kì í tètè bí kò kàn wọ́n gbọ̀ngbọ̀n tó bá kàn wọ́n gbọ̀ngbọ̀n Yorùbá ò ibi kò tí kàn wọ́n gbọ̀ngbọ̀n ni. So nǹkan tèmi kọ̀ rí sí is that ẹ lọ protect ara yín. Má sọ wípé bishop oníkan lọ jàmàlà tewédú. Listen, when the Palestinians were blowing Israel the other time, I think is it 2019 or what, when that Hamas blowing, and Israel, they went to one part of the temple and they were shooting because they know that ọmọ Israeli wà ńbẹ̀ wọ́n gbàdúrà. Now this is a clear on channels television. I say channels. CNN, Al Jazeera showed this. Ẹ máa rí àwọn priest wọ́n lọ fún wọn ní handkerchief funfun. Ibi táwọn Hamas wà tán ti ń yìnbọn ni àwọn ọmọ Israeli gbà kọjá. Wọ́n kàn fẹ́ handkerchief yẹn báyìí, wọ́n fẹ́ báyìí, wọ́n dẹ̀ wọ́n kọjá títí tán fi kó wọn wọnú mọ́tò tán fi gbé wọn lọ. I called one of my father in the Lord in Tel Aviv. I said, see what happened. Ó ní pé, am I surprised? Why should I be surprised? Ó ní pé there are even more spiritual technology than that. Mo ní yes, mo ní we have it in Yoruba land. A máa ń fẹ́ aṣọ funfun, handkerchief funfun báyìí wàá fẹ́ báyìí, wọ́n máa yìnbọn kò ní dọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀. So mo mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe àwọn èèyàn wa, wọ́n ti kó wọn lẹ́rú. Gbogbo nǹkan ìwọ̀nyí ni àwọn oníwàásù wọn tó ń parọ́ èké tán wọn sọ wípé ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni. Mo ò dẹ̀ mẹ́ni tí ó ṣẹ̀ sí nítorí pé òun dáàbò bo ara ẹ̀. Èmi ò ní sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ o. Ìbọ̀ àbọ̀rọ̀ la máa ń sọ fún ọmọlúwàbí tó bá dénú àdó didi. Dáàbò bo ara ẹ̀, dáàbò bo ilé ẹ̀. Then o ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti dáàbò bo ara ẹ̀, ilé ẹ̀ àti ẹ̀ with any forms of weapon. So far you didn't use it to attack anybody, but if somebody wants to attack you, you neutralize that person first. You are justified. Ibi tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbẹ́jọ́ yẹn lọ kàn gbé lọ, and that is a rudimentary right to accumulate títí dé UN right as a nation tá lè lò náà tó fún wa ní right as a nation to defend our territory, because the right starts from individual as an ethnicity and as a group, as a city, as a street, as a home, as a nation, we become one as a nation. Yeah, when you exercise your right, I exercise my right, and they exercise their right, and all of us exercise that. The whole state exercise their right, another state exercise, all the state exercise their right, becomes a nation exercising their right. And it is enshrined in UN. Ó wà nínú òfin United Nations náà pẹ̀lú ní ẹ̀tọ́. And tó bá ti di pé ẹ ti ń dáàbò bara yín, ẹ kàn sí wa. Tẹ́ bá ti kàn sí wa, a sì lábẹ́ òfin kan láti sọ wípé ẹ dúró à ń bọ̀. Ẹsẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ tẹ́ bá ti kàn sí wa la máa wá síbẹ̀ ká lè jẹ́ kẹ́ ná àlàáfíà. That's nǹkan tó fi yẹn sọ nìyẹn. So ẹ ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti dáàbò bara yín. Ẹ ṣé.
Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa ní orí ètò.
This is Star Radio UK.
Akíyàwó tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ wọlé ìyàwó Agbémilékè ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò.
This is Star Radio UK.
Akí bàbá wa Wálé Àjàyí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí.
This is Star Radio UK.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò bàbá wa Michael.
This is Star Radio UK.
Ìyá wa Love Fuja ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí.
This is Star Radio UK.
Bàbá wa Isaac Dennis.
This is Star Radio UK.
Bàbá wa Dúrójayé Olúṣẹ̀sí.
This is Star Radio UK.
Once again, good evening.
The best radio show.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9,
Àṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mẹ́yẹ bọ̀ lápò ó kù díẹ̀.
7.
Every Wednesday you will join me right here. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ní kí a change orúkọ yẹn sí Yorùbá Voices. Mo ná kù díẹ̀ nítorí pé ètò Naija Voices tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ yìí láti bí ọdún 5 láti ń bàbọ̀ lórí.
This is Star Radio UK.
Àmọ́ gbogbo wa ni a mọ̀ bí pé my views when it comes to self-determination is that the Yorubas must come out peacefully out of Nigeria. And there's no doubt about that. But we also know that there's so many Yorubas and those that are not Yorubas that still believe in one Nigeria. And we want some time to hear their views and their perspectives. And we will bring them here. They will come and talk to us. And we will then argue together what believes to make it that Nigeria is still one formidable country, knowing what we know in terms of the 1914 amalgamation, the background of who we are. I still have my guests with us for the next almost less than, I'm not going to keep him more longer than another 10 minutes. And I want to make use of that 10 minutes as much as we can. The program ends at exactly 8:30, and I'll say thank you so much to those of you that have joined.
Welcome.
That's for those of you that are joining us for the very first time. This is Star Radio UK. You can also join me every Monday to Friday at 11 o'clock where I give updates about what is going on in Nigeria, the news and the headline. And we will do that just before the end of this night program. Thank you so much, Demeji Agbola, and everyone that have joined us. Mrs. Adenike Olayomi, Babalola, Obadia Adetoye. Are you related to the late Obadia? Bishop, let me come back to you again. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sọ́dọ̀ yín. Àmọ̀ràn wo lẹ máa fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lórí ọ̀rọ̀ self-determination? Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń kó ìrẹ̀wẹ̀sì sí àwọn èèyàn lọ́kàn pé nígbà tí aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu tó ti gba tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì APC gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ní ẹ ṣe jẹ́ ká dìbò ní 2023 ká mú Yorùbá nation ká fi sí ẹ̀gbẹ́ náà, tí aṣíwájú bá wọlé á ṣe bẹbẹ tí Yorùbá máa fi lọ. Kí lẹ máa bá wa sọ fún irú àwọn tí wọ́n sì ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀?
Ẹ rí i pé mo rẹ́rìn-ín.
Mo rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bàbá.
Mo rẹ́rìn-ín gan-an. Number one, èkínní, ṣùgbọ́n ọmọ Yorùbá l'Ọbásanjọ́, bẹbẹ mélòó ló ṣe? Ṣèbóun náà lẹ́yìn tí ò sí lórí oyè mọ́, ṣèbóun náà ló tún ní pé ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ni òun ti jẹ àǹfààní òun ò jẹ àǹfààní nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó dẹ̀ ń gbé ní orí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbogbo ilẹ̀ tó ní lọ́tà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ní ó lóun ò jẹ àǹfààní kankan lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wípé ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ni ó ní Nàìjíríà ni òun ti jẹ àǹfààní.
Only my one Nigerianness is better than the Yorubaness.
Wípé in fact ó declare níbẹ̀ yẹn pé òun ò ń ṣọmọ Yorùbá ni that's the meaning ìtumọ̀ nǹkan tó ń sọ nìyẹn pé òun ò ń ṣọmọ Yorùbá ọmọ Nàìjíríà dẹ̀ ni so kò sí wàhálà ètò self-determination Yorùbá kó máa continue a dẹ̀ máa dé ilẹ̀ lérí àti délẹ̀ lérí lágbára Ọlọ́run àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe òṣèlú káwọn náà dẹ̀ máa continue ṣùgbọ́n tí iná bá ti jó lórí kókó tí ọwọ́ wa bá dẹ̀ ti tèkú dà tán ẹni tí ò bá tẹ́ lọ́rùn kó fi ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ̀ kó lọ gbé pẹ̀lú àwọn Fúlàní bóyá wọ́n á fún ní àǹfààní láti jẹ́ equal pẹ̀lú wọn lọ́hùn. But that's my own view. tó bá like Fúlàní to that extent so lọ gbé láàrin wọn kó dẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀dọ́mọ ìyá wọn bóyá ayé wọn máa wọ̀n ẹ́ àbáyé ẹ̀ máa wọ̀n. So Yorùbá ní èmi mọ̀ tó wà tolerant akóyànmọ́ra gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀yà láàláò kan gbé lórí ilẹ̀ wa with equal rights pẹ̀lú ẹ̀tọ́ kan náà tó bá even ilẹ̀ Yíbò tó ọmọ Yíbò bá ṣẹ̀ níbẹ̀ tó jẹ́wọ́ nìkan lọ́mọ Yorùbá ẹ̀rù á bá ẹ láti bá wí nítorí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yíbò máa yí ẹ ká ni ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ń bì ló máa rí ọmọ àjòjì ó máa ṣe ìwọ ọmọ Yorùbá ó máa bá wí ọmọ Yorùbá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀ tún máa bá ẹ á ní pé kó stop ẹ̀ wípé o ò rí pájòjì ni pé má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ó máa dàbí wípé èèyàn burúkú ni wá because we are cultured anẹ́kọ̀ọ́ akóyànmọ́ra. Mo ní friend kan from Bangladesh ó wá establish company ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni ó wá establish gbogbo àwọn branch wọn sí mo wá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wípé kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nìkan ni ó ń target tó lọ ń kó branch sí káàkiri ó wá ní pé láti ìlú wọn from Bangladesh àtòkọ àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ kan náà ní India pẹ̀lú partner wọn láti Netherlands ibi náà wá set sí débàdàn dé gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa kí ló dé tó jẹ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ṣe lọ tán ká lọ síbi ilẹ̀ Igbo north ó ní láti ìlú wọn ni wọ́n ti sọ máàpù fóun wípé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni ní Nàìjíríà tó ń lọ yẹn western part ni kò lọ sí níbẹ̀ o tó bá ti kọjá western part nǹkan tó bá ṣe business ẹ kò kàn àwọn ò ní support ẹ láti ilé so ó jẹ́ nǹkan tí tó yà mí lẹ́nu nítorí mo mọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá jẹ́ ilẹ̀ olókìkí ẹ fi àwọn politicians sílẹ̀ Tinubu tó fẹ́ jẹ pírẹsidẹ́ǹtì tí wọ́n pa àwọn ìran ẹ̀ tí kò lè sọ̀rọ̀ ó ń lọ́bì kan lè jò di president ṣé tó bá wá di president tó wà láàrin wọn lọ́hùn ṣé ìgbà yẹn ló máa wá lè sọ̀rọ̀ àbí ṣé àwọn tó wà House of Assembly more the north níbẹ̀ ó pọ̀ ju south lọ ẹ̀rọ owó ló fẹ́ sọ military government kọ́ leléyìí is democracy bó tẹ̀ ti lè pé bó tẹ̀lẹ̀ jẹ́ fraudulent one òun kọ́ ló máa ń ṣe everything ṣóun ni ó máa ṣọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá ṣóun ló máa ṣọ̀gá àmì ni aṣáàrí gọ́vnà tó pàṣẹ fọlọ́pàá lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ń bì tọ́lọ́pàá tó ń sọ fún gọ́vnà wípé òun obligate to listen to him pé Abuja lòun listen to that's a chief security officer of a state and a police ọlọ́pàá ó wá intrude ní state yẹn and ó ní commissioner of police ní káwọ́ tó máa sọ fún wípé ọlọ́pàá yìí mo fẹ́ rí commissioner of police ò lè ṣe kankan fún ó tún wá bá ọlọ́pàá yìí personally wípé èmi ni governor ó yá fi state mi sílẹ̀ nísinsìnyí ìyẹn ni pé o ò lè pàṣẹ fún mi sà àpé àṣẹ látàbújá ni mò ń tẹ̀lé sà. Ṣé ẹ rí i pé ogun ti dé already? So adití wo ló máa wá ní pé káwọn àwọn fẹ́ dìbò fẹ́ nìkan kó dán tó bá dán àwa ṣe á change kí ni? Kí ló fẹ́ change? Kò lè change bí Ọbásanjọ́ ṣe para dáradáradáradára tí ò rí kankan ṣe tó tún fẹ́ lọ fún third term wípé bóyá tóun bá tún ṣe third term wọ́n á rí nǹkan ṣe náà tán lè kúrò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lòun náà ṣe máa kúrò gbowó ẹ̀ kó máa lọ nìyà. Then the funny thing is that tó bá tiẹ̀ gbìyànjú tó ṣe nǹkan ṣebí ó ní 4 or 8 years láti kúrò ńbẹ̀. Ṣé nọ́tánà ò tún ní gorí oyè mọ́ ni? Tí nọ́tánà bá tún gorí oyè, every one of you will back to square one again now. Every one of you will back to square one and all man return everything sí nǹkan. In fact ìyẹn ló máa ń le jù nítorí pé ẹ̀yin rò pé tún nǹkan ṣe ni ẹ bá nǹkan jẹ́ fáwọn ni. Because they have a plan. Àwa Yorùbá ní a kì í gbọ́ràn. Kì í dẹ́ ṣe pé a kì í gbọ́ràn. Selfish interest ó pọ̀ jù nínú àwọn but Ọlọ́run ti gbà wá already. Yorùbá nation ti dúró. Ẹ jẹ́ káwọn tó ń ṣe politics máa ṣe politics tiwọn lọ. Àwọn tó ń ṣe Yorùbá nation kan tẹra mọ́ iṣẹ́ tó máa ṣe. Ọlọ́run ti gbàdúrà wọ̀ already. The most important thing ni don't listen to your politician, your governor, don't listen to your pastors. Go and protect yourself. You prepare for your self-defense. Defend yourself. Then ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa dúró. Tó bá ti dúró tán, àwọn tí ò bá wá dùn mọ́ nínú kò ní dùn mọ́ wọn nínú mọ́ títí ayérayé. Kán fi ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ̀ kán máa lọ gbé lù tó bá wù wọ́n. Thank you.
Ẹ jà gbọ́ ohun yìí.
Yorùbá nation wà nǹkan tó fẹ́ wá polongo. Ó fẹ́ sọ fáyé pé recognize Yorùbá nation ló. Ipe Yorùbá nation ti dá dúró. Yorùbá nation ti ń ṣe ìgbésí ayé tiwọn o. Òun dẹ̀ fẹ́ kán recognize ẹ̀. President Buhari bá wá sọ ní September ní United Nations. Ó ti di dandan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lè dá US sọ ti Palestine kó bá sọ ti Yorùbá nation. Ó ti di dandan. Pẹ̀lú àṣẹ ti Ọlọ́run.
Ohun ìyá wa Chief Mrs. Modupeola Onítìrì Abíọ́lá nígbà tí wọ́n ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ ní àná ẹja àtúgbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Yorùbá nation wà nǹkan tó fẹ́ wá polongo. Ó fẹ́ sọ fáyé pé recognize Yorùbá nation ló. Ipe Yorùbá nation ti dá dúró. Yorùbá nation ti ń ṣe ìgbésí ayé tiwọn o. Òun dẹ̀ fẹ́ kán recognize ẹ̀. President Buhari máa wá sọ ní September o ní United Nations. Ó ti di dandan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lè dá US sọ ti Palestine kó máa sọ ti Yorùbá nation. Ó ti di dandan. Pẹ̀lú àṣẹ ti Ọlọ́run.
Bishop, before we start winding down this conversation tonight, let's come back again to a bit of the borrowed language, as we call it, English, because we know English is not our language; it's a borrowed language. But for the benefit of a lot of our listeners from different African countries, what impact will a Yoruba nation produce to the international and the global community? What impact?
Vital and great. First, I'm going to shock you. Once Yoruba nation comes and established, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá from diaspora tó jẹ́ pé òyìnbó lẹ ń pè wọ́n nítorí wọ́n láwọ̀ funfun, many of them are coming back home, many of them with a lot of innovations. So Yoruba nation is not that's why nínú ìwé mi tí mo ṣe recently mo explain síbẹ̀ the outlook of Yoruba in the next 10-20 years. Just the way tẹ̀sẹ̀ ráwọn ọmọ Israeli tán di funfun lẹ́ni, Yoruba is going to be like that, 50-50 white and black, and that gives us equal standing, equal standing with this Western world when we are talking about the international community associations or in interactions, Yoruba would be in equal standard with them. And innovations don't trend pẹ̀lú làwa náà máa trend pẹ̀lú. So it's going to be that developed state in Africa, so to say. And mo fẹ́ sọ kinní kan, I just think Mama Onitiri will be watching and listening now. I told you about that revelation in January this year, and I'm very happy. I'm praying that Mama Onitiri iṣẹ́ tọ́lọ́run gbé fún wọn, wọ́n parí ẹ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ wà pẹ̀lú wọn, kò ní fi wọ́n sílẹ̀. God raised that woman to be an Esther in this time. Bọ́lọ́run ṣe gbé Esther dìde fáwọn ọmọ Judah ní ilẹ̀ Persia, bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́lọ́run gbé màmá ẹ̀ dìde, and she stood up, a widow for that matter. She stood and mo rí ìran yẹn ní January, mo ṣàlàyé fún yín, ó dàbí pé mo wà ní London Street, then mo wá rí tí wọ́n gbé vacancy sí ọ́fíìsì Queen. Mo wá wò pé Queen vacancy, mo ṣe ń rò lọ́wọ́ pé ṣèbí ṣọ́ máa ń ṣe election ni àbí ṣọ́ máa, mo kàn rí a Yoruba woman bó ṣe kọjá lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ mi ìkẹyìn sí ẹ̀, mo mọ̀ pé èèyàn pupa ni, then is an woman bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ni, ó gbé file and she was climbing the stair up going into the Queen's palace to apply with some document to apply for the office. Mo wá jí, mo wá ní what? Kí ló fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀? Nísìnyí ni mo ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá understand wípé ògo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ní Great Britain ń lò. Àkókò ti tó, Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ gbé màmá yìí dìde fún wa láti gba ògo yẹn padà. Ṣé o ráwọn òyìnbó tẹ́ ń wò ẹ́ ní UK? Koiki? Wọ́n máa bẹ̀bẹ̀, wọ́n máa tó báyìí gba visa láti wá gbé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. I'm talking about white Britons. I'm not talking about even blacks there. The white Britons, wọ́n máa bẹ̀bẹ̀ láti with their passport to beg for Yoruba nation visa to come and live in Yoruba land.
All right. Thank you so
much. Thank you.
Well, because of our time, we're just about 9 minutes away on this.
This is Star Radio UK.
10.
Well, that is how we will be pushing it. 10, 8, 7, 6, 5. And I say I come back again too.
The best radio show.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
We will definitely have to have you again because we cannot complete this conversation tonight. But before you start winding down in just about 3 minutes, I want you to speak to those that are watching us, because some Africans, which is the angle that I'm going to come with you the next time, might probably not really understand why the Yoruba needs to stand as an independent, nation, that we have been a kingdom before the fraudulent amalgamation. Okay, it looks like, are you with us, Bishop? Well, it seems the network is almost just as about we were winding down. It looks maybe Bishop, we lost his signal there. Hello, Bishop, can you still hear me? All right, definitely the network is not coming back. But I think we've been able to do justice to the conversation. Good evening, Michael Cross. Good evening, Mr. Clifford. Thank you so much, Mrs. Liz Dada, Mrs. Bimileke, Dimeji Agbuola. With the fraudulent constitution, how will it be able to get Yoruba nation for us? It will be possible. Let's just continue with the recognition, as we've been told. Balogun Wale, good evening, Yoruba Nation. And yes, we lost that call. I think, we tried, so much, with Bishop there. Well, we're going to let him go. I can only appreciate him because we already wind down the conversation. Good evening to you, Prince Amusat. Balogun Wale, good evening to you. Igbowo Roscoe, good evening to you as well. Salahu Alade, and the rest of you that have joined us. It is now 6 minutes before 8:30. If you're expecting the self-determination media to be coming up tonight, I've just received a message that there will not be one, but instead of that, there would be a 1-year anniversary that is coming up, put together by the media to remember, the atrocity and the genocide and the killings that took place at Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igbowo's house, which was Thursday 1 year ago. That is coming up this Friday as well. So what I've got here says to celebrate July 1st, unforgettable day in the history of the Yoruba nation self-determination. Let's celebrate our heroes for laying down their lives for the Yoruba freedom. Date Friday, July 1st, 2022. Time 7 p.m. Lagos time. There's a Zoom link that has been put together, and I know it's going to fill up quickly on that day because of the kind of guests that we have. Speakers on that day will be Professor Banji Akintoye, the leader of the self-determination group Ilana Omo Oodua, Chief Sunday Igbowo, Dr. Victor Taiwo, Chief Mrs. Mudukbeola Abiola Onitiri, and Baba Adeniran. These are the speakers that has been lined up, put together, by the Yoruba, self-determination media. So this is coming up Friday. I'm also aware that the same Friday, they're planning to have what we call a candlelight at the Nigerian High Commission to remember those that died. So I'm aware that is also coming up. Let me give us those news update that is going to be coming up in the next couple of days. So once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki. I'd like to appreciate all of you that have joined us again tonight, especially my producer Frank and Archie. Good evening to my beautiful mother. I can spot her there. Good evening to my family. Good evening to each and every one of us as we continue the fight against injustice. So let me quickly read this. Candlelight. This is an urgent announcement to every Yoruba person, male and female, in every part of the world to acknowledge the 1-year passing of Adogon and Alhaji Fatai on Friday, 1st of July. Venue, Nigerian emergency at your province or country of abroad. Time, I believe they wanted to say Nigerian embassy. Time, 7:45 p.m. UK, US to be announced, Canada to be announced, Italy to be announced, France to be announced. Home base on Yoruba land, 5:30 p.m. We also seize this opportunity to thank God for the release of the 8th and the release of Chief Sunday Adeyemo, aka Igbowosha. We are grateful to God that the plans of the devil to kill or to keep them away for many years has turned to empty threat, and the Lord has made them powerless. So this is all all being put together, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of activities to remember those that have died, as well as those that are still going through one psychological reasons for the attack. A lot of people have not literally come out of it. Go through 28 minutes past 8. The quote for today from the studio here is successful people work longer hours than the average person when it comes to their priorities. So when you see somebody like me, when I get back home, I might still have a late night conversation, which I believe I would do. By the time I get back home, it's going to take me about 2 hours to return back home, and I mean not to Yoruba land. I'm talking about going back home from the studio. I love it when I come to the studio because you feel that this is exactly what Awamo Yoruba Tafe. Speaking to Bishop, at some point I was having these feelings. Good evening, Ashegon Baba Sulaiman Yusuf, where we couldn't see his face because there's no electricity, and that is what darkness Nigeria has kept a lot of people. You might understand me. At some point, I was even trying to say, maybe I could see his beautiful smile, but unfortunately, it was just pitch dark. This is what our people are going through. So if you are here and you don't understand what people are going through, please bear it at the back of the mind that a lot of Yoruba people and Biafra, the Hausas, the Middle Belt are all suffering back home. Thank you so much, Rejoice King Henry. Thank you so much, and William Adeoye, and every single one of you. Isaac Kabi Tunde. Thank you so much as well, African Force. Again, I will be back. Like I said, I'm working to bring a very powerful, person into the studio next week. We've not been able to conclude. I hope we can conclude it, and I can hear his views on Nigeria, his view on the self-determination. We will try and get Showore. Is one of us here in the studio. We will bring him in very soon, should we get through to him. But as you all know my stand, I believe it is time that Nigeria winds down so that an independent Yoruba nation can come up and then compete with the global community. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I say once again thank you to each and every one of you for joining me on.
This is Star Radio UK.
So I'm going to play my final track, and then I'm going to be handing over back to the engineer that will take over from me. But before that, this is called Orilede. I'm sure a lot of you have listened to this before. And on that note, from me here in the studio, Masokwe Odaro. Thank you so much, Jimo Sikiru Lawal.
This is Star Radio UK.
The best radio show.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Akíkanjú yẹ, má kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ fún kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀.